up, farm? It's Mark here, and what do you know? We're into the seeding. So, if you were wondering why there's been a lack of videos on our channel, and you guessed that we've been busy, you're exactly right. Since the last video, we have just been disking non-stop, it feels like. We did some scrub raking as well. But as well as that, we moved house, we did some renovations. So yeah, it's just all been happening. And I haven't had time to edit. I haven't had any time to film. The new house that we're in doesn't have any internet or very good phone signal at the moment. So it's a process to upload videos. But anyway, that'll change soon, hopefully. So a lot's been happening since the last video, including an appearance on Landline, which was pretty surreal. So if you found us from that appearance on Landline, thanks for joining us. Hope you're liking it. Yeah. But anyway, we didn't get a chance to do any pre-season on the air seeder. We fixed some problems this morning before we got going. But yeah, we've loaded it up. And we have a lot less to sow this year because we don't have the same amount of contract jobs as we had last year, which is alright. So yeah, at the moment it's going alright. We're just sowing some cereal rye in this paddock for sheep feed with some fertiliser, and it's going good. It's 120 hectares this paddock, so nice long runs. Alright, that's the first 40 hectares done. It's time to fill up. Look at that front coming through. Hopefully there might be some rain in it. Now we're on very sandy dirt here, so if we get a rain while we're seeding, it won't matter, we'll be able to keep going because it won't be too sticky. That's one advantage of farming the beach. Well, I reckon that front's gonna go south of us. I reckon Coastview might get it over there. I reckon a few people along Miller's Road might get a bit of rain, but I doubt that we will get much at all out of that one. Well, it's raining. That's good news. Don't know if you can see that, but that song is called Rain by V and Josh. And it's raining. You would not believe it. Anyway, blue sky out there, so it won't last for long, but it's nice. Check out that rainbow, double rainbow even. Wow. Looks good now. She's nice and green out here. Right, morning guys. So last night, I think I stayed till about 11 or something. We ended up getting about just over 100 hectares done in that paddock. It's about 15 to go this morning. Then we'll be on to the next one. I'm just wandering over here. So what I was saying is I was going to measure the rain, and we had 11 mils, which is a big surprise. All right, paddock's all done, just doing the headlands now. And we'll be on to the next one. So I'm enjoying using this ag leader screen, and Doug came out the other day and upgraded us to the new version of ag leader, or the new software for this. And it's got this button here which is Smart Path, which is a new AB line which just takes a line off the last place where you drove. So this is especially handy for headlands. You see I come down around this track and the ag leader system is just steering me perfectly around this corner, and as we go up along here it'll just copy straight from the paths that I've already did. Very, very handy for headlands and stuff like that. Yeah, it's a cool feature. So you'll see this line goes on a curve here as we go around this track, and it will just steer us around there. How cool. I love it. So good. Just started a new paddock. This paddock's called the Ocean Paddock, and there's a few sheep in it. These are some sheep, some ewe lambs that we bought from the Coastview Cowboy, and they're currently following me up and down the paddock, thinking that the air seeder box is going to give them some feed, but they're wrong. But it's interesting to watch. Look at them. They're excited, but they're going to be disappointed. Right, there we go, another paddock done, and just in time because we are almost out of fuel. Time to give her a drink. Filling up, got the rye going in. Another shower of rain coming. I doubt it'll get us. Anyway, it's nice that there's a little bit of moisture around for someone. Alright, so this new paddock that I started on is the paddock that we sowed the lucerne in late in the season, and it looks really good. We're just sowing a bit of rye to as a kind of a cover crop, just to give it a bit more bulk, just because this sandy soil is quite fragile. We just want to protect that lucerne. I've had to pull up because it's come in pretty cold, and the skeleton weed that unfortunately grew with the lucerne is blocking up the bar. It's not too blocked up there, but it's just dragging along and making a trench, and we want to keep this paddock smooth if we can. So we're going to knock off and we'll be back tomorrow to decide what we do. So just hopped off the tractor and started the motorbike, loaded my lunchbox on, and the lights don't work. Lucky I got my torch. That's going to guide me home. Well, back to the shed where my ute is. Alright, it's the next day and we're out here, and it is doing a much better job today. Just the sunlight and a bit of warmth, and once the dew dried off the skeleton weed, it made it go through a lot better. So anyway, we're just going to go until the box runs out of seed, and then we're going to pack up and head back home and get into the canola. Apart from, we've got to fix some things on the bar first. Do our pre-season in the season. Got done. Now we are going out on the road. Full steam ahead, heading south. Alright, we made it home and we've got some work to do to the bar. Call it a pre-season if you will. And our new tank stand's been put up next to our new bore. Alright, so what we got to do, got to replace this hose. It was never the right size, it was just making do. And then these main delivery hoses, there's a couple of them. We didn't change them last year because I thought they would be right, and they were right, but it took a lot of rolls of duct tape. We got there in the finish, but they're leaking quite a lot. There's also these couple of hoses which are still great here, but over this bend where the seed and fertilizer is rubbing on the top, there's some big holes in a couple of them, so we will cut them out, cut the bad bit out and join it with some steel is the plan. And then we'll be ready to get on to some proper sowing. All right, what up farm? We're back again. This morning I have got the air seeder already, replaced the hoses, everything like that, all the problems that we knew of, straightened some press wheels. We brought the little truck home from out north. We won't need that for the canola, but we will need that for the wheat when we go onto it. Right now, the nitro is filling up with water. I'm about to put the chemical in. We're gonna go and spray and knock down on the canola that we're about to sow. Alright guys, I'm back again. It's been a while since I picked the camera up. Since I did my last little bit of filming, it's not gone well. I needed to do some spraying before we did some sowing, before we started sowing the canola. For whatever reason, the sprayer was filled up with white flaky things that were coming out the lines and blocking the nozzles. I thought, oh yeah, it'll clear. After one tank I flushed through about 5,000 litres of fresh water and thought, yeah, that'll be right. Put some more in, it still wasn't, and flushed some more fresh water through, still wasn't right. So I put Boom Clean in and let it sit overnight. Flushed that through the system this morning, and now we're going up to my farm and we're about to load up and hopefully it's right again, and we're going to sow some canola up here at my place. We've sown Dad's canola down at his place. The canola was a drama too. We put some bags in, and while I was having dramas with the sprayer, Dad called me up and said, oh, I've only done 10 hectares and I've already used 3 bags. So that was a lot thicker than it needed to be. It turned out that the air baffles were in the wrong spot, so we adjusted that and it all seems to be going all right now. So yes, we've had our fair share of difficulty, but hopefully we're on the right side of it. Alright, so far so good. All the nozzles look alright. Oh, there's one that looks a bit dodgy out there. Anyway, it's alright. Yeah, this is a knockdown. So this is Roundup killing all of that green stuff that's there, so that when we sow our canola this afternoon, there'll be no weeds for it to compete with that are already growing. The only weeds that will be competing with it are the ones that grow or germinate after we sow the crop. Right, we're properly getting after it now. This is probably the best paddock on the farm to spray. 40 hectares of flat, straight goodness. 21, I was up to 24 before. We got a tree coming up, so she's going well now. Alright, here's our canola seed. We've got to get it up there in the air seeder. Alright, we got it all off the back of the ute. Now we're going to put it in the box. Right, I've just opened this bag. This is canola seed. As you can see, it's pretty small seed and it goes on at a very light rate. the stuff we've just sown went on lighter than we expected, so this stuff can go heavier. So we'll have to do a calibration, but yeah, canola is a brassica, just like lettuce, broccoli, cauliflower, stuff like that. And this is the seed. Looks good. Alright, I've put 3 bags of canola in. There's 2 more there, but I think that I'm going to put them back in the ute, just so that they don't get wet, for one, and for 2, just in case something goes amiss with the air seeder and it puts out way too much seed, we'll have some left over then. But when I need this seed, it'll be in the ute and I'll just come and grab it. Alright, so it's time to do a calibration now, because our canola rate was lower than we wanted it on Dad's farm. We want it higher here to use up all of our seed. We've lowered this manifold, slid it back. We've put this catch drum in and our calibration bag. Normally you would have 2 calibration bags, but we don't. We only have 1, so we cut a drum in half. But anyway, how we calibrate this machine is we turn the handle 55 times and that gives us 1/10 of a hectare. The previous owners thought it was 50, I counted it 55. So yeah, we'll get into it. 50, 1, 2, 3, 4, 50. So I tipped what the machine measured into that catch tray into this pot, and now we're going to weigh it. And because that says 380 grams, times that by 10, which equals 3.8 kilos. So I moved my rates just a little bit too far. I've got to move them back again by 880 grams. Right, we've got our catch tray back in there again. I've adjusted the rate and it's time to wind that handle again. 1, 52, 53, 54, 55. Oh, our scales have turned off. So it's weighing 581, including the jug. So we'll tip it out and then measure how much the jug weighs. So our jug weighs 266. Gotta love a bit of drawing in the paddock when your phone's charging in the tractor. So that equals 320 grams, which means 3.2 kilos to the hectare. So I'm just going to whack it back ever so slightly, a little bit more, and we'll call it good. Alright, we're going to do a crank test now, wind the handle, send a bit of product through to make sure it's coming out every hose. Now, can't see that. There's some weeds on there, so we'll crawl around and pluck them off and feel if the air's coming out. I'll get rid of this. Yep. Alright, all that weeds pulled up. They're all sowing. It's time to go. Right, we're into it. And gee, do I love coming back when the line's already set with the ag leader screen. I don't know if you can see, maybe I'll zoom in the editing. We're close to the fence, but we don't look like hitting it. It's good, I like it. Farming every square inch that we own.
place where they told you what to chase, told you how to run the race. Every move was on the page, but I didn't like their way. Had to fight and misbehave, had to find a way to change, had to leave to find my way. Caught up in a daydream, I beat my mind up there almost daily. It's how I pass time, no opinions safely. It's how I understand what I want in this place, see. Cause everybody wanna tell you bad things, what could go wrong, what fame brings. But success is a finicky thing, and if you ain't sure, no, it'll never be. I don't wanna let myself down, myself down. I don't wanna let myself down, myself down. I don't have to plan it, I can go change my fate. You won't understand it, all alone, that's okay. People I can't stand them, they don't want me to change, keep me where I'm standing. And I don't wanna be where I am, and I want something more, take a chance. It could be possibly my last dance, my last dance. I don't wanna let myself down, myself.
So we have issues somewhere. Something to do with the air seeder controller. It popped this fuse, or the other fuse that was in there. I found a spare and put it back in there, and before I could even put it in, it has melted the end of this fuse. Something shocking. So I'm going to go back over to the corner of the paddock and have a closer look, see if I can find anything obvious. Alright, so I did some more problem solving. I unplugged the air seeder controller and tried to put the fuse in, and nothing happened. So I knew that it was something to do with the air seeder controller, and I had a look outside first and came to this plug, which normally I would zip tie here. The zip tie's even there, it's just come off. And I could see that it was sitting like this on the steel. So I turned it over, and what do you know? Bare wires. That earth is exposed, and that red live wire is also exposed. So that's a direct short, which is where our problem is coming from. Now I'm going to wrap that up with some duct tape. I will do a shonky job of it and zip tie it back here so it can't do the same thing again. But I'm going to walk back over to my ute to go to the nitro to get out some fuses so that I can replace the fuse that blew. Alright, I pulled that live wire out, wrapped a couple of laps of duct tape around it, and then did the whole loom, and I've zip tied it to that plate so it shouldn't come off. And now I can see I should reinstate this stuff or wrap that in duct tape so the same thing doesn't happen there. There we go, that should stop that side doing the same thing. Hopefully that'll be better. Now we just got to replace the fuse. Right, here's my new fuse. Put it in. There we go. And we'll plug this back in. This is for the air seeder controller. Turn our key on. Lovely. She's all good to go again. Right, don't know if you can tell, but she's raining. It's getting a bit sticky. That wheels are right, but it's just building up on the bar wheels, all the press wheels. no rush at the moment, so we'll just call that enough and get back at it tomorrow.
Are we gonna go see Dada? Yeah? Do you wanna go for a ride on the tractor with Dada? Yeah. Wave to Dada. Wave! Say hi, Dad!
Do you want to come on the
Dada,
nitro?
do you wanna go for a ride?
No.
Have fun!
Okay.
Alex, you can have another shot another time.
We're going this way another day. That was fun. Alex came for a lap of the paddock with me. She's good value. She's learnt to say handle. She was holding on to her handle. And they dropped me off some leftover roast from tea last night for lunch, so it's always good. So what we're doing here is another knockdown. This is a canola stubble, meaning we had canola here last year. You can see it is very grassy. Lots of grass growing now, lots of grass growing last year. Yeah, so this is Roundup or glyphosate knockdown, and then we'll follow it up in a couple of days with gramoxone or paraquat knockdown for a double knock. It's just like a left right bam, just kills it, kills everything that's there. So it's a proven method for getting rid of weeds. So that's what we're doing. That second spray will also have our pre-emergent in it. But anyway, it's all right. We got some rain coming in tomorrow, probably. So we're getting all the spraying done now while we can. All right, we filled up the sprayer again. And now we're into a wheat stubble here. So you see there's a little bit of vetch growing. There's some wheat growing that we threw out the back of the header. Some clover coming up, ryegrass, bit of everything really. We got Roundup on again, glyphosate. We're just going to bomb it all out because we will be sowing beans in here, Faber beans. This is the first time I've ever grown beans, never done it before, so it'll be a learning experience, I'm sure, but very, very keen to give it a go and see how it all works out. All right, just cruising along out here. It's going really good. Got that paddock done, doing this paddock. Let me get into, there we go. And then we'll do that paddock just there next. And then that'll be it for the spraying, and we'll go and finish sowing the canola. These clouds are looking a little bit threatening around the place, but there is some stuff coming on the radar, but it's a little way away yet. Don't know what's gonna happen. Alright, got that paddock done. Now it's time to change over. We'll go to this one. Yep. Load a pattern. North. Perfect. There we go, got her all done. Alright, we're at the seeder now. Let's pull some of this string out. I had a go this morning and it was a bit too wet still. You can see how it's all built up on these press wheels here. Yeah, just was too wet earlier. But anyway, I got all my spraying done. But it'll be right to go now. The top's dry, but then it's still wet underneath. But anyway, we'll get this paddock done, and that'll be canola finished for this year. Oh, she is going in nice. I reckon this is about perfect seeding conditions, really. Not very often it happens like this, but anyway, I think it's time for the lights. Alright, we've only got a few hectares left. We'll just check how much canola's left in the box and see if we're going to run out. Ooh, it's hard to climb a ladder with one hand. So you'll notice 2 bags of canola here. We have judged the rate terribly. Something's going wrong. It's not going out fast enough. Oh. I don't know if you can see that, but there's not much in there. Reckon I might put another bag in just to be safe, because what's left in there is not going to do what's left in the paddock. Alright, there's plenty in there now, not going to run out. So another thing you may have noticed is we have a flag on the back of the seeder this year. Now this flag is the state flag of Victoria, which is where we live and farm. And our flagpole is just made from some small PVC pipe zip tied onto the seeder. Doesn't have to be fancy to work. Right, we're into the headlands. We've nearly got it done. And my flag has got caught on the box. Gotta love the aggliter system, steering me perfectly along that fence. How good. Alright. So that's it for all the canola guys. Thanks for watching. We'll leave this video here. Yeah, tune in to the next one, and hopefully we'll be getting on to sowing some wheat and then on to the beans. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.